Hi, my name is Alexander, and on behalf of Granna, I would like to present to you our brand new game, Spacecraft, game created by Michał Gryń and illustrated by Piotr Sokołowski. In Spacecraft, players will take a role of wacky scientists and eccentric constructors. The goal of the game is to create their dream, flying machine, a spacecraft. They will do so by gathering scrap from the scrapyard and then exchanging those tiles for spacecraft elements to construct their rocket. The game is from 2 to 4 players, age 10 plus, and it takes around 50 minutes per player. Before we move any further, one important information. Everything you can see here today, this is not the final product. We are still working on the game, so some elements might be changed in the final product. So first of all, we have our workshop, and inside of it we have various spacecraft components that we will use to build our rockets. Then we have a main board here, our scrapyard, on which we will use our pawns to gather scrap tiles, and then we can place those scrap tiles on our player boards. And here are the order cards, and fulfilling those cards will grant additional points by the end of the game for a player that managed to fulfill them. Okay, now a few words about the gameplay. What players can do in their turn. So I will show you some moves on an example of one turn with 3-player game. So now I'll explain how you can move on a board using a red player example. So you can basically move to either an adjacent spot to the place where you have your pawn already, or the last spot in a column or row. So in this example, red player can move here, here, or here, because those are the spots that are adjacent, or to the last spot in each row or column. So here, here, or here. Let's decide that red player will move here. By doing so, the red player is gaining this tile and placing it on his player board. Okay, let's take a look on a blue player now. In his previous round, he already filled his player board, so now he needs to remove his pawn from the board. By doing so, he allows himself to get all the tiles from his player board and exchange them for spacecraft components. And let's see. The blue player will definitely would like to purchase, this tile, this wing, and for those 2 tiles, exchange for this red wing. Blue player did that to fulfill these two contracts, because both of them requires red elements on a spacecraft, and by doing so, blue player will get more points by the end of the game. And now all we need to do before the next player turn is to slide those 2 orders lower and refill the order cards here. And we are ready for the next player. Okay, so with an action of red player, I showed you how you can move on the board. With an action of blue player, I showed you how you can craft the elements for your spacecraft. So now let's talk about yellow player. On her previous turn, she crafted 2 elements for her spacecraft, so now she wants to get back on the board. So basically, she can access any tile that is accessible on the outskirts of the board from the edge of the board. So all these tiles that are accessible are an option, and she will decide to go here. This tile goes on her player board. Awesome! Are you ready to build your own spacecraft? You can find more information about the game on our Board Game Geek site. The game will have premiere at this year's Essen Spiel. Stay safe, and I hope you're ready to build your own spacecraft.